busy people getting fit in Fulshear, Texas. Our aim is to help you look better, feel better, and perform better as quickly as possible. I'm your host, Bryan White with Blue Eagle Fitness and Nutrition. Welcome. Hey, what's up, everybody? I am here with our very own Clancie Harbors. And after our very first podcast, she had a better idea, in her opinion, which is to flip the script and to interview me and ask me some questions. The problem is that she sent me, I know, she's like, what problem is there? The problem is that she sent me a list of approximately 3,500 questions that she wants the answer to. And I was like, no one wants to hear all of this, at least not at all at one time. So point of this session here is Clancy's going to ask me one, maybe two questions, and I am off the cuff going to give you my response. Sound good, Clancy?
Sounds good.
Okay. So I'll turn it over to you. What do you want to know?
Okay. So first of all, the reason I wanted to do this is because I want people to see the real Bryan White, the man behind the muscles, the man that's not just all business and all seriousness, because when I first met you, that's what I saw. And now that I've known you for a couple of years, I know that's not the case. So that's why I want everyone else to see that side of you, in fairness to them and, respect for our gym and our gym members. So my first question is this.
Okay.
My first question is this. You bought a CrossFit box a couple of years ago, right?
4 years ago. 4.
How many? 4?
4.
Okay.
4 years, 1 month, and 2 weeks. But
okay. But who's counting?
Who's counting?
But prior to that, you went out and you got yourself all these degrees. Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay. About all those degrees. Okay.
All those degrees.
Which I can tell you, no one cares. No one cares. Except maybe my mom. But so I have a chemistry degree. My academic education is chemistry. I have a bachelor's of science in chemistry from the University of Tulsa. That was where I met my wife. She was a chemical engineer. So oftentimes, even to this day, it's been over 20 years, we'll meet people and they'll, what's your education? I'm a chemist. She says, I'm a chemical engineer. And invariably they turn to me and say, and you're just a chemist, right? I'm just a chemist, whatever that is, but I'm just a chemist. After graduating from the University of Tulsa, Celeste and I both went to Georgia Tech in downtown Atlanta, and where I got a PhD in chemistry. So I have a PhD in chemistry. I will tell you, here's a weird thing you didn't think we were going to get into, because we don't do drama at our gym. We do not do drama. That includes politics and a lot of things going on. 22 years ago, my research group, I was in a material science department. My research advisor is actually a vice president now at Columbia, the clothing manufacturer. So if you have high-end hiking coats or whatever, he's the vice president of research for Columbia. He does material research or material science research. We studied the effectiveness of various materials as masks, which again, this is 22 years ago. The reason is because back then, if you wore clothes to work out in, they were all cotton. And especially in an environment like Atlanta, which is where we were, or in like Houston, where we live now, they get all the moisture, right? You get hot, you're just out in the summer and you're not even sweating yet, but your shirt is full of moisture. And so then you start sweating and it gets even worse. And so what people were doing is starting to develop wicking clothes. They take the water away from your body and to the outside of the garment where it I want to say floats away, but
goes to the cloud.
Evaporates, where it evaporates. There we go. More scientific term than floats away. So, but people were coming up with this technology, but they didn't have a good way of measuring the effectiveness of the technology. And so the research group that I was in measured the effectiveness of the technology. and we could tell you which was good and which was bad. So you wouldn't, if you wanted to wear a mask, actually a phenomenal material for masks, I'm not getting political here, I just did the science, is cotton. Cotton's a great material, especially if you fold it over 2 or 3 times. It's phenomenal at trapping in moisture, but still allowing you to breathe. It's not comfortable, but it will still allow you to breathe, and it traps in the moisture and prevents whatever else is in the moisture from getting out. Things that don't work well would be like the Under Armour or high-end garments, that maybe something from a Lululemon that gets the sweat off of your body and can evaporate quickly. That would not work well as a good mask, which we did. Again, we did this work 22 years ago. So it's a bit weird seeing all these people with opinions on what should be a good mask and what isn't. And I'm like, actually, did the research 20 years ago, didn't know anyone would care, but anyway. So I have a PhD in chemistry, mainly focused on polymers at the time and material science.
It sounds riveting to me.
Riveting, so riveting. It was riveting to me back then, not so much now, but since then, I have more degrees if you want.
Oh, you have more degrees?
Well, more kind of. Like I'm a precision nutrition level 1 coach. And right now, actually, as of about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I am now a CrossFit level 3 coach. Less than 1% of all CrossFit trainers have their level 3 certification. And actually it's levels 3 and 4, the only 2 levels where we are certified coaches. And I didn't realize this, it is the only internationally accredited certification for trainers. So there you go.
Dude, congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And so needless to say, you like learning. Learning is one of your core values.
I do. I will tell you, I don't just love learning. I enjoy learning and then teaching someone else. So think about getting a level 3, right? You don't get a level 3 just to have it in your back pocket. You usually are either a head coach or a gym owner and helping other people in their fitness journey in the most efficient way possible. And that's across the board. I mean, everything regarding health, in everything from sleep to nutrition to training, all of those pieces are covered in the CrossFit Level 3 certification.
So let me ask you this. Why 4 years ago, why did you decide to buy a CrossFit gym? Why did a chemist want to buy a CrossFit gym?
Okay, so I'm going to skip the part of the story where I leave corporate America. You can ask me about that later. But the short version of that story was that in March of 2017, after spending 13 years in corporate America, I left. Mainly, well, I'll get into those reasons the next time you ask me. A year later, I chose to buy the gym, the CrossFit gym. We were not Blue Eagle at the time. It was CrossFit Fulshear. But the reason is because I want to leave a lasting impact on my community. I grew up in a small town with people with coaches and with teachers and with other community leaders who loved other people. And I wanted to do that for my community, so that when I'm no longer on this earth, and I actually have a neat little exercise you can do. Here is my obituary. It's already written and planned. Haven't done everything yet, including dying, but I want, these things, I want these things to be said about me. And so that guides, who I am, where I'm going, and what I do and what decisions I make. And there are various ways of impacting other people's lives, but I wanted to help people live longer, happier, healthier lives. The truth is, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus. I think Jesus is the God of life. And that impacts me a lot. It drives a lot of my decision making. On one hand, and it's not even, it's across politics. I mean, on one hand, I'm pro-life. So I'm against abortion. On the other hand, I'm pro-life and I'm against the death penalty. I believe in life. And I want to help you, Clancy, live a longer, happier, healthier life. The people in our Forever Fierce class, one of my greatest sources of pride at this point, we started that class. You started that class 4 years ago with people could not move nearly as well. I mean, they could not get off of a 24-inch box without help. And my first concern is that we would be going to funerals sooner rather than later. And we have been to zero.
Zero funerals.
Zero. I mean, you are helping people live longer, happier, healthier lives. I'm just hoping to get ahead of that curve, right, with the people that we currently have in the gym. You know, when they start in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you know, we can add years, we can add decades to people. I mean, if the average person dies at 75, so I'm 45, I've got 30 summers left, 30 summer vacations left, 30 Christmases left, 30 birthdays left. You know, I mean, can I not turn that into 40? Can I turn that into 40 summers? Can I increase? I mean, that's a 33% increase over where I am in my life right now. So if I can try to do that for me, I want to try to do that for you too. So that's why I bought the gym.
Well, I know I speak for myself and probably some of the other coaches that you are a very intentional leader, and it's obvious for me anyway that you enjoy teaching, you enjoy learning, you're very intentional about it, you're very methodical, and that's one of the things I appreciate about you, because I love to read, I love to learn, I love to speak, I love to help people too. So it's one of the reasons I love being there, being part of it. And so I have one last question for you before we wrap up. And this is just kind of like a very open-ended question, but what inspires you?
What inspires me? So I get inspired. This might sound a bit cliche. I get inspired by two types of people. The people, let's take Amy Hall. I get inspired when she comes back from a Costa Rica vacation with friends that she goes with on a regular basis. And this year, this story is actually 2 years old, but she showed up on the beach in her bikini with a cover up and then took the cover up off. And her best friend just stood there with a, mouth wide open and was like, "You look awesome." Apparently her friend used a little bit more colorful language than that, but you get the point. And then to see Amy's face light up as she's telling me this story, I mean, that inspires me, right? We're not super athletes. We're people that enjoy each other's company and enjoy working out. The other thing that inspires me is when the person, they come in and they talk to me. Everyone starts with their free intro. It's usually a 30-minute session where we talk about, why you want to join the gym and how that process works. And it's the person who has been thinking about taking ownership of their lives for the past 2, maybe 3 or 4 years. And they have finally gotten the courage to walk in the door. And I know, right? We know your life will change. All you have to do is show up. I see it time and time again. You show up, we will change your life. And to see again that person who has been through a lot internally, in their own head, usually externally, maybe with a job or a relationship or multiple relationships that aren't good, that they're inspiring to me when they walk in the door. And I'm like, yes, we can help you. We can be there for you. We can get you to where you want to go. And I'm just so proud of you for taking that first step.
And that being said, I did say that was my last question, but I lied. What sets us apart from, why not just go to the purple place or whatever it's called and pay $1 and, go run on the treadmill? Like, what sets us apart from other gyms? What makes us special? Why would somebody, and you said we change
Sure.
people's lives. I know it's true because I've been there,
Sure.
but how does another person, what do we do that changes people's lives?
Yeah. And the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to love you. We're going to love you. We're going to care about you. And by we, I mean, it starts with me. I want to be the first person you meet on your free intro. Then it's going to go to one of our coaches. Right now it's Coach Brandon, who's going to take you through your on-ramp sessions, your one-on-one personal training. A guy who I trust intimately. And then you're going to come into class and you're going to have coaches who are absolutely going to pour everything that they have into you, making you fitter, but also letting you know you are seen, that you are important, and that you are worthy to be loved. And for a lot of people, that's a big deal, and they don't get that in their normal lives. I'll be honest, we are not the only gym that does that. We are not the only CrossFit gym that does that. And I'm actually happy to say that we're not the only ones. On the other hand, I'm very disappointed that there aren't that many of us. Especially those big box gyms, you're a number, they're trying to charge you as little as possible so that when you never go again past that first day, that you just don't notice the charges on your credit card. And then there are just other gyms that just want, they either don't know how to love or they don't care. And those are the hardest ones, because it's difficult for me to explain to you on our free intro. If you spent some time 2 years somewhere else or a year, you probably didn't make it past the first 90 days, actually. What makes us different? Well, I'm actually going to care about you. I mean, those are words, but you need action, right? And that's why when you do sign up with us, you do sign up for a minimum of 3 months, because I want you to see our actions. That's how we're going to be judged, both in the short, medium, and long term. But I need an opportunity, right, to more than just talk to you in our first session, but I need you to see the actions that not just I am going to take, but all the coaches. And then that trickles down to our members, right? My favorite part, there are 3 types of members. There are seed members. These are members that you want everyone in your gym. You want everyone to be like. They're seeds. You want them to grow. Then you have kind of your normal member. They're neither good nor bad. They show up and then they leave. Show up to class and then leave after class. And then you have your weed members. These are the grumblers, the complainers, the people that, when other athletes show up for class and they see a weed member, like, oh, why do I have to go to class and be in class with them? We have a gym where we have 0 weed members, right? 0. I love working out with every single person in our gym. That is a special place. That is not normal. But I and the coaches we cultivate that. Where we don't whine, we don't complain, we don't make excuses. But then we go a step further. We encourage, we support, and we give a shoulder to lean on when you need it. How's that?
I like it.
I said you could ask me 2 questions. You've asked me 4.
You're awesome. And I'm done.
Thanks, Clancy. Bye.
I'll go with other stuff. I'll see you later.
Okay,
bye.
Thanks. You can get every episode of Busy People Getting Fit wherever you listen to your podcast or on YouTube. You can also reach us at busypeoplegettingfit.com. Until next time, thank you for listening.